videos from Zack D films that are the best ones. So all credit goes to Zack D films. And right now the channel is sitting at 27.8 million subscribers. Big shout out to you, Zack D films. Let's get into it.
The kangaroo is smaller than your thumb. It's blind, it's hairless, and its back legs barely work. But the second it lands on its mother's fur, it has to start climbing. The mother doesn't help it in the pouch. The joey has to crawl there completely on its own.
Wait, like that whole big kangaroo, like a small thumb. I never know. I never thought about it. So hey, let's see.
This would be like a human baby climbing an entire building floor. Now, if it makes it, it latches on to a nipple, which swells inside its mouth, locking the joey in place for months. And even after
What? Which kind of life is that? Okay, okay. Let's see.
it
Let's see.
finally lets go, it'll sometimes hop out to explore, but whenever it needs milk or safety, it climbs right back in.
So like, how many years does a kangaroo stay with the kid in the stomach? Because I'm curious. Small one, nipple. What?
If you have an early flight in the morning and you know you need to sleep, it might cause you to try to fall asleep. Now,
Yeah, that's very true. If you have something happening tomorrow, and you try to sleep, it's very hard. Like i- i- they, you can't even sleep because your brain is thinking like your brain is counting like minute by minute, waiting for that moment tomorrow. So it's very hard to sleep. Let's see that they say.
the more you try, the more alert your brain gets, which keeps
Yeah,
you
that's true.
awake.
That's true.
But
That's
if
what
you
I say.
just pretend you're already sleeping, close your eyes, slow your
Yeah,
breathing, lie still, eventually you would actually drift off. And this is how we normally fall asleep, by pretending we already are. Now, let's say you want to get fit. If you keep telling yourself,
yeah, and that's how people sleep. Like you can't just sit there and stay calm and sleep. No, you have to pretend to have slept so that you can sleep actually. So you have to pretend to do something.
I need to get fit, it feels like a chore. You'll start and stop over and over. But if you
Yeah,
just pretend you're
you will.
already a fit person, well, you'll start making the choices a fit person makes. You'll pick the water over the soda. You'll go for the walk instead of scrolling. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because that's just what a fit person does. And if you pretend long enough, well, it might just stop being pretend. If you have
Yeah, and that's all because of the brain. It's like psychology. Yeah, it depends again with the brain. What you feed your brain is what you'll do. When you say I'm tired, I'll do it later. That's what you'll do. So you have to pretend. So don't feed your brain. Pretend.
The crow picks up a cigarette butt, then drops it into a small slot on a vending machine. Cameras and sensors inside scan the object, checking if it's actually a cigarette. And if it recognizes the right shape, it releases a small piece of food as a reward. You see, the creators hoped that once a few
Uh, I really don't understand. Like these things have a very high IQ. Like you can find them picking money. So when someone drop money, they can collect money, go with it. Like some stuff. Like I don't know how they know this thing is good. They just collect and move with it. So this must be a very genius idea.
few crows caught on, other birds might copy them until entire flocks could help clean the streets. And some crows did actually learn the system, but it never really caught on. The
What is it? What is? Why is it smoking? Why is it smoking that thing, man? Yo. And I love the animation. The animation is very intact. I also love the animation, but up to this day, I don't really understand how these crows work. Like they are very intelligent.
This is you, and these are your two parents. They each have two parents as well, who are your four grandparents, who
So like it's a family tree. Zack is trying to form a family tree.
each have two more parents. With every generation, the tree grows, meaning by the time you go back to the year 1400, you'll have over 16 million ancestors. And if you go back a few centuries more, your family tree will include more humans than the population of Earth at that
That like I don't think that's like the the population of one country. Yeah,
time. But that's because the further back you go, the less people there were on Earth. So the more likely it is your ancestors were already related, with distant cousins
yeah, yeah. That's very true. That's very true.
marrying each other. And that means one ancestor will show up more than once in different places on your family tree, meaning it's
Yeah, because the DNA will be rotating in that family tree. Like you can find one person appearing like maybe 3 times. You know? Yeah, that's the DNA thing.
not that big after all. If you're about to board a plane and don't want to pay for crappy Wi Fi, you could download a movie beforehand. But what if you don't know what you'll want to watch? Well, to play it safe, you could try downloading the entire
What the fuck is that? Downloading the entire internet to your phone. The phone is very small, so it can't fit. That's very that's the entire internet has a big capacity. The other thing, why don't you pay for the Wi-Fi? It's just a small amount. Just pay for the Wi-Fi. I recommend that.
internet. But since the internet has around
Yeah,
200
I say that.
trillion
I really
gigabytes of
say that.
information, your hard drive would have to be the size
Yeah,
of a skyscraper.
and
And
why
since
that?
that obviously won't fit in your carry on, you would have to drag it behind the plane with
You did all that because you don't want to pay for Wi-Fi. Are you crazy? That's that's wild, man.
thousands of steel cables. But then the plane would be so heavy, it would need thousands of rocket engines and a launch
Like all this is going on because we don't want to pay for Wi-Fi. Ah, some people
pad just to get off the ground. If you strap a camera onto a chicken's head and pull
who made that helmet. That helmet is so it's so creative.
put it onto a speedboat, tiny sensors in its inner ear detect the movement, while its neck muscles instantly move the
Yeah, yeah.
opposite way. You see, chickens can barely move their eyes, and if they
When these things when chicken moves, they don't move their head. Even pigeons, like they move the whole body, but the head freezes.
just walked around without readjusting, each step would make their eyesight blurry. But by freezing their head in place for a split second and quickly resetting to the next position, they can cancel out most of the movement, keeping their vision steady and making your footage incredibly smooth.
So you did all that because you just buy a tripod, man. Stop torturing animals. No, just buy a gimbal instead of just wasting a chicken, running a chicken on a speedboat. All that so disgusting. I'm getting pissed, man.
The grenade landed near the soldiers, who were already injured.
This moment is when now we start making my last prayers, man, because grenade trapped in a war, injured. Ah, so disgusting and emotional.
And trapped in place by the gunfire above. But just then, their team's dog ran over
Wow,
and
wow.
grabbed it with its mouth. Then he
Yeah,
carried it towards the enemy lines,
wow.
just moments before it exploded.
Good dog.
All 7
Good dog.
soldiers were saved, and the
Good
dog was
dog.
given a medal to honor his sacrifice.
Good dog. Who can forget this dog? This dog is a hero, a hero. Because she was given money by the merchant. But the only thing we can do is just partying and throwing everything around. That must be a very, very crazy talent, you know.
He dropped down the shaft, and as
What?
he fell,
Oh
his
my
body
god.
got pinned between the elevator
What?
car
Guys,
and the wall, trapping him there
that's
upside
very
down. When his mother
painful.
called 911, firefighters rushed to the
Oh my
house and
god.
shut off the power. Then they broke through the wall beside. She refused to fart in front of her in-laws and held them in until she began to get.
Never try this at home. Never try this at home. Just hear, Hadi, hear me. Never try this. It's not safe. Never try this at home. If you want to fart, just release it. Release it. A toxic, just release it. Never hold it. Even the urine, the pee. Don't hold even pee.
Sick. So her father-in-law told her to just let it out. But when she did, the whole house shook. The walls cracked. Furniture flew across the room. They were terrified. So her father-in-law decided to walk her back home. On the way, they met
When you did that to your in-laws, like the respect and all stuff drops immediately.
a merchant, and the daughter-in-law bet that she could pick fruit from the high branches.
What?
He agreed, and she immediately let out a fart, knocking the fruit from the tree. She won the bet, and her father-in-law welcomed her back into his.
Like at the first sight, how did the kid end up and start falling? Where was her parents? Some questions.
The elevator, creating an opening wide enough to reach him, and he was pulled out alive with only minor injuries.
Not that fall. Bah! But then get out with the minor injuries. Zack D. Tell us the truth, man. Okay, let me get fooled. Zack D, just fool me.
Drilled a hole into a South Korean coin, then slid it into a Japanese vending machine.
That one is stealing and that is illegal. That can put you behind the bars if caught. So just don't do it. 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 Yeah.
The coin rolled down the chute and a sensor weighed it. And because the modified coin was the same size and weight as the 500 yen coin, the machine accepted it. But his coin was worth 10 times less, meaning
Like, bro, how did you know all that? Like, you're so smart to steal.
he got a drink and real Japanese money back for almost nothing. In no time, these modified coins were found in machines across
The end of the road for the boy. The end of the road. Start hustling, man. That's the end of the road for you.
Japan. So most of them started refusing 500 yen coins
Yeah.
entirely. But
Yeah.
the country had already lost a lot of money, so they minted new coins with a mixture of metals
They
that
should
no
have done
other
that
coin
earlier.
could match.
They should
He
have done that
drilled a
earlier.
hole into a South.
That should be done very early.
If you make a copy of a page, then copy that copy again, and keep repeating it over and over,
Yeah, when you do like photocopy, and more photocopies of the same copies, they start to fade away. They start to fade away. I don't understand why. Let's see.
each version looks almost the same, but gets slightly blurrier every time. Now imagine that page is your DNA, and every time a cell divides, it has to reprint that page, but it's copying from the last copy, not the original. So small smudges and missing details start to
Yeah,
build
yeah,
up
yeah,
until the
yeah,
copies become
yeah.
harder to read.
That's when you see the kids. Maybe when you get kids, maybe your siblings, your family. That's DNA. And maybe you can find a kid born without complete body parts, or a kid just die days after birth. Even others die before even birth. That's the good explanation of what happened. So when you see the other people say when you get kids with your siblings, It's a curse. No, it's not a curse. It's a DNA thing. The DNA. You have the same DNA, so it's hard to form another new thing. So yeah,
and the cells stop working the way they should. Now, this slow breakdown is part of what causes aging and eventually death.
yeah.
They set up folding chairs on the apartment's rooftop so they could watch the baseball game below without paying. Years
But that is not good, man. That is not good. Watch out.
later, it got more popular, and they eventually attached bleachers to the roof and even started charging people for tickets. Now, they struck an official deal with the baseball team, paying
They were jealous. The baseball team were jealous. Bro is making money for nothing using their content. So they had to make a deal. And if bro could have rejected the deal, they would have sued him. So
them part of their profits. But after the deal expired, they kept selling tickets anyways. So they were sued and might be shut down for good.
that's jealous. Jealous. So the deal ended. What's wrong? Just walk away. The deal has just ended. Leave people alone, man.